Title: Background Control and Subject Separation. Module: Advanced Studio Lighting Control. Background control is one of the most overlooked but powerful elements in studio photography. While many photographers focus mainly on lighting the subject, the background plays an equally important role in shaping mood, depth, and visual clarity. A well-controlled background does not compete with the subject. Instead, it supports it. In fine art figure photography, the background is not just a backdrop, it is part of the emotional structure of the image. One of the most basic principles of background control is separation. Separation refers to how clearly the subject stands out from the background. Without separation, even a well-lit subject can appear flat or visually lost within the frame. There are several ways to create separation, and each one produces a different artistic effect. The first and most common method is lighting contrast. When a subject is brighter than the background, the viewer's attention naturally moves toward the subject. A darker background behind a well-lit figure creates strong separation and a sense of depth. Conversely, a bright background with a slightly darker subject can create a clean, high-key aesthetic where the subject appears soft and luminous against a glowing environment. Distance is another important factor. By physically separating the subject from the background, photographers allow light to behave more independently. A greater distance reduces unwanted spill light and increases the ability to control background exposure separately from subject exposure. Lighting the background directly is another powerful technique. A dedicated background light can create gradients, patterns, or controlled brightness behind the subject. A soft glow can create elegance and atmosphere, while a sharply defined spotlight effect can create drama and focus. Color also plays a major role in background design. Neutral backgrounds, such as black, white, or gray, are often used because they do not distract from the subject. However, colored backgrounds can introduce emotional tone and depth when used intentionally. In fine art photography, a black background often suggests mystery, isolation, or intensity. A white background suggests openness, purity, and simplicity. A gray background provides balance and neutrality, allowing lighting to define the mood more freely. Another important technique is background texture. Smooth backgrounds create minimal distraction and emphasize form. Textured backgrounds, such as fabric, walls, or natural materials, can add context and atmosphere when used carefully. However, too much detail in the background can compete with the subject. The key is balance. The background should enhance the story, not distract from it. Light falloff is also a natural tool for background control. While light is placed close to the subject and aimed carefully, the intensity of light decreases rapidly as it moves away. This allows the subject to remain well lit while the background naturally falls into shadow. This principle is especially useful in creating cinematic or low-key images where the subject appears to emerge from darkness. Another powerful concept is negative space. A simple, uncluttered background can create visual breathing room around the subject. This space allows the viewer's eye to rest and increases the emotional impact of the composition. In studio photography, background control is not accidental, it is designed. Every decision about distance, exposure, color, and light direction affects how the subject is perceived. Even a small change in background lighting can completely transform the mood of an image without altering the subject at all. Ultimately, background control is about awareness. It teaches the photographer to see the entire frame, not just the subject. Because in fine art photography, the background is never empty space. It is part of the story. And when controlled with intention, it becomes a silent but powerful element that supports emotion, depth, and visual harmony.